Hey guys, Cody Bradshaw here with Team Prodigy.
And I'm Dickerson, and we're here today to talk to you about the mental side of disc golf.
I used to play a little bit of ball golf back in the day, and I know that I brought a lot of it over to disc golf and thought I'd talk about it. I think the big thing that we talk about a lot is the skills and the shots required, but we don't talk about the game played between the ears. And I think that's a big part of disc golf. And Chris knows a lot about that.
Yeah, as I made my transition from the advanced level to the pro level, I saw a big change in my mental game, whereas in the advanced level I would go for everything and I really wouldn't think about the consequences of missing a putt and going out of bounds or something like that. But the more you play with the on the pro caliber side, every stroke counts, and the more you mess up, the more you're going to find yourself behind.
Definitely. I feel once I took the leap from advanced to pro, you kind of found yourself thinking about shots a little bit more and knowing that, you know, going for a 400-foot tunnel shot with a driver probably wasn't the best idea. Taking an M3 off the tee was a safer play, and that's kind of what you need to do to score well. So the leap kind of helps. So for the AMs who are out there playing, you know, start thinking about what it's like to save strokes on every shot. You know, you don't need to go for everything. You need to start determining best places to lay up to, where to play to. I know Chris comes out and practices course twice before he even plays it, at least, and that's because he's out there not trying to birdie everything, but trying to find the best places to where he can put himself in the best position to score.
Yep. Like he said, on par threes, you obviously want to land in the basket, or near the basket, but you need to find the best route for you to get there. And on par fours, you need to find where your landing zone is. So the best way you're going to get to that landing zone, and then you'll always know, since you practiced it, how to get from that landing zone to the basket.
Another big thing, I think deuce or die courses kind of have taught me a whole bunch. You know, you go out to a lot of deuce or die courses and you feel like you have to birdie every single hole, and especially at the pro caliber, you're kind of expecting everybody to birdie every hole. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself by saying, okay, I have to get this one, I have to get the next one, I have to get this one, and worrying about that kind of stuff rather than taking each shot one at a time and playing it as it goes, and that's it. Don't worry about the next shot, worry about the shot that's at hand, and know that you just need to throw the line that you've practiced and you're going to get the birdie or at worst the par, and that's fine.
Yeah, adding to what you said, somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, what's your game plan going into a course or a tournament? I said, usually I don't have a game plan going into either a course or a tournament. I just go and I try and play the best that I can and see what that leaves me, because that's all you can do. You can't go back and change a round that you've already played. You can always just improve on the next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like to set scores that I need to get, because that just puts pressure on you that you don't need. And just see what you're left with.
Yeah, I agree. And ball golf, that kind of helped also. You know, you kind of knew that you had to go out there and shoot, you know, 3 under, 4 under every time, but if you put that pressure on yourself constantly, it's harder to actually shoot that score. So you just need to go out there and just play the course the way that you know how to play it, and what comes out of it, that's what comes out of it. That's how you did that day, and that's okay. We also want to know what it's like to play on the lead card at the World Championships.
The first couple of times that you play in a bigger on a bigger scene, like a bigger tournament, the gallery can affect you a little bit. It'll kind of not necessarily hype you up, but it'll definitely get your adrenaline going, because it's like you're playing in front of a crowd, which you are. So the first few times it takes some getting used to, and as you keep getting used to it and playing in it more and more, you learn to just tune them out, and eventually they're not even there.
Yeah. First time I ever played Vibram, I made second card with my good buddy James Conrad, and I remember I was so nervous the entire time because I was thinking about what everybody was going to think. Like, I'm playing in this big tournament with a lot of people, and I wasn't really focused on my game at all. I was more focused on everything that was going around me and being filmed for the first time. And I'm pretty sure I threw my first shot about 5 feet off the ground and almost killed the camera lady because I was so nervous and thinking about it. And then I decided to take the last round of that tournament and try and forget about everything that was going on, and actually shot my best round of the tournament, you know, trying to blank everybody out, you know, and I was still playing with the gallery, I think, of, you know, 20 people that round, but I tried to blank it all out, and that's what you have to do. You have to kind of get rid of everything else that's going on and just focus on you and the course, and that's all that matters, is you and the course. I've played with Chris at my home course where, you know, I've gotten beat by 10 strokes, and the entire time, even though he's beating me, I'm still trying to play the game that I know how to play and focusing on the course while he's doing his thing. And that's what you have to do. I mean, no matter what, if you get beat one day, you can come out and win the next day. So you have to just focus on the course, and that's it.
That's another good point. Always stick to your game. If you're playing with someone who, like Simon for instance, he takes all these crazy lines, which he can do because he has the ability to do it, but other people may not be able to. So they may get up to a tee and think, I can take that line, I can do that. And if you have tried it in practice, hopefully, you'll know whether or not you can. But if you're stepping up to a tee and you think that's a good idea, you gotta know your limitations. You gotta know if you can do it or if you can't.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely save you some strokes in the long run.
Yeah, I think playing with Chris at Harmon Hills a couple times, I watched him throw some rollers when we were practicing, and I was like, I gotta try that. So I practiced it and practiced it and practiced it, but I mean, they weren't ever going where his rollers were going. So come tournament time, I was like, all right, you need to throw what you know. And you know, I would throw just a D2 up the gut on an air shot, and he would lay down this roller, and maybe he would score better on the hole because he had that shot, but I know that I didn't, so I had to focus on my game and how I was gonna score on that hole. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. This has been Pro Tips on the Mental Game with Cody Bradshaw and Chris Dickerson.
Thanks, guys.